Hi guys, Mary Beth Temple here, and I want to bring you an 8-hour knit lace shawl. How can you knit lace quickly, you ask? Couple of things. Nice thick bulky yarn, a big thick knitting needle, a very easy to learn lace stitch, and you can have the shawl in a weekend. Let's get started. This is the world's easiest lace pattern. It has 2 rows. I'm going to show you both those rows, and then you knit them forever and life is good. So the first thing you're going to do on all of this is maintain the garter stitch border on either side, and that is 5 stitches that are not incorporated into the lace pattern. Now, the way the pattern's written, I tell you that on every row so you know, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if you want to, you could put a stitch marker near the border just so it reminds you, but that's up to you. Now, this is a ginormous needle. This is a size US 17. You may or may not have a stitch marker this size laying around, but what I do in that case is just cut a little piece of waste yarn and tie it into a knot, and lo and behold, you have a stitch marker. So optional whether you want to have them or not, but some people prefer them. So now let's do the right side row of the lace pattern. So the pattern says knit 5, which we already did, knit 2 together, yarn over and purl 1. So since I've done a knit, my yarn is in the back of the work, I need to do a yarn over, but my next stitch is a purl. So the yarn over comes up between the needles, over the needles, and all the way back because I'm going to do a purl stitch. Let me show you that one more time. So there's my purl 1. Now the yarn goes to the back for the knit 2 together. Knit 2 together, yarn over through the needles, over the needle, and all the way back to the front because the next stitch is purl 1. Purl 1. Yarn in the back, knit 2 together, yarn over, purl 1, yarn in the back. Obviously this is not the full width of the shawl, this is just a sample that I've made for you guys. Purl 1, knit 2 together, yarn over. Now for this last yarn over, the next stitch is a knit stitch, not a purl stitch. So for this last yarn over, it's coming between the needles and just going out, it's going to hang out in the back. So once again, if you want to put a stitch marker, here's where it goes. If you don't, that's fine too. So yarn over, and then there's my knit 5 at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, now let's do the wrong side row. We're going to knit 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you use the stitch marker goes over after that knit 5. It's easy to get it caught up in that little yarn over, but make sure it goes over after the knit 5. And then we're going to purl 2 first. Purl 2. And then it's knit 1, purl 2. Knit 1, purl 2, all the way across until those last 5 stitches are there. There's no yarn overs on the wrong side, so make sure when you're bringing yarn back and forth to change from a knit stitch to a purl stitch that you're not going over the needle. We're coming up to the marker, so knit 1, purl 2, and then there's my knit 5 for the border. Let's do those 2 rows again, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Once you have an inch or 2 of this pattern going, and I have to tell you with yarn this size and needles this size, you'll have an inch or 2 very quickly. It's easy to read your knitting and intuit what the next stitch is going to be. But of course we're just setting it up from scratch now, so it's a little harder to see. So this is what it looks like right now. There's my yarn overs on the right side row. But let's do 2 more rows just to confirm. So I'm on a right side row, we're going to knit 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to lose the stitch markers because I prefer to work without them. But again, you can leave them in there if you want. And we're going to knit 2 together, yarn over, purl 1. So we're yarning over and bringing the yarn back to the front of the work. So the repeat is purl 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, purl 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, purl 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, purl 1, knit 2 together, and remember on that last yarn over, because the next stitch is a knit stitch, we just have to yarn over and get it in the back. Knit 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one more wrong side row. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the repeat here. We're going to purl 2 first, purl 2, and then the repeat in the asterisk is knit 1, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2, all the way across until you have those last 5 stitches. Knit 1, purl 2, and then we'll have 5 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, knit 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, all you have to do is repeat those 2 rows over and over and over again. Just a couple of tips. When you're looking to see your work and you're trying to read your knitting and be intuitive about it, realize that the yarn overs stack up on top of each other. If there's one here, there's not going to be one over here. They're going to stack up vertically. So that helps you know which direction you're going. So that's on the right side row because there's only yarn overs on the right side row. On the wrong side row, when you are thinking about your knit 1, purl 2, if you look on the wrong side, there's a column of stockinette stitch. So that on the wrong side, that's always going to be a knit stitch. So that helps you with the placement. So you can read the pattern and you can count, but we always encourage people to be able to read their knitting to sort of intuit what's going on. That's all you have to do. Repeat those 2 rows over and over and over again. And when you get the shawl as long as you want it to be, then you're going to knit 10 rows for the garter stitch border that you have and bind off. And that's all there is to it. You just have 2 ends to weave in, or however many ends depending on how many skeins of yarn you had to use. I hope you had fun with that. I certainly did. Holy heck, it's so easy to do a new lace stitch, 2-row repeat, and you have this giant, soft, squishy thing to wear. You can wear it inside as a shawl or wrap it up and get on the super scarf trend. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Mary Beth Temple. We'll see you again soon.